Hey everyone, let's talk about something real. We're going to break down 5 super common mistakes that might be slowing down your career as a developer. This is for you whether you're brand new to code or feel like you've just hit a wall.
So let me ask you this. Does it ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels? You're putting in all this time, learning all this stuff, but your growth just feels slow. If that's you, trust me, you are not alone. A lot of the time, it's just a couple of small habits that are secretly holding you back.
All right, so what are we talking about today? First, the tutorial trap. Then, skipping the basics. After that, fearing new tools. Waiting for perfect. And finally, learning in isolation. Ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, first up, and this one is a huge one. I'm talking about the tutorial trap. You know what I mean, right? That endless cycle of watching video after video, and it forces you to ask a really important question. Are you actually creating something, or are you just consuming?
Oh man, we've all been there. You follow a tutorial, you copy-paste the code, you hit run and it works. And you get this little rush, right? This feeling of, yeah, I'm a developer. But is that really learning? It feels like you're making progress, but a lot of the time it's just a trick.
So to be clear, tutorials aren't the enemy here. The real problem is just passively consuming the information. The fix? You've got to flip the switch and become an active creator, because that's where the magic, the real learning, actually happens.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? It's simpler than you think. After you finish a tutorial, don't just close the tab. Go in and make one tiny change, just something small. Then, and this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out, break it. On purpose. Yeah, I'm serious. Because the struggle to figure out why it broke and how to fix it, that is where you'll learn more than you did in the entire video.
But look, all that active learning, it's only as strong as the ground it's built on. And that leads us straight into mistake number 2, skipping the basics. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on sand. I get it, it's so tempting to jump straight to the flashy frameworks. But if you do, you're building a really shaky foundation for your skills.
And trust me, this comes back to bite you, big time. When you don't have those fundamentals down, your ability to think logically just isn't there. Debugging becomes this nightmare because you have no idea what's really going on under the hood. Sure, you might know how to use a library to sort something, but you won't understand why you should choose one sorting method over another. And in the real world, that decision can literally be the difference between a fast app and a failing one. All of this just chips away at your confidence.
Just remember this. Frameworks change. That shiny new tool that everyone's buzzing about today, it'll be old news in a few years. But the fundamentals, data structures, algorithms, solid design patterns, those are forever. If you have that foundation, you can learn any new technology, anytime, no problem.
So, just like a shaky foundation can trip you up, so can avoiding the tools of the trade, which brings us to mistake number 3, fearing tools. And I'm talking about the non-negotiables here. Things like Git, the command line, maybe some basic cloud stuff, and yeah, even AI tools. Trying to get by without these is like trying to be a carpenter without a hammer. It's a massive roadblock.
We all know the excuse, right? Oh, I'm too busy coding right now, I'll learn Git later. But let's be honest, later almost always turns into never. And when you don't know these industry standard tools, you can't work well with a team. It's simple. The developer who learns and uses the tools is the one who moves forward.
Look, you don't have to learn everything at once. Don't get overwhelmed. Just start small. Seriously. Pick an afternoon and just learn the absolute basics of Git. Play around with one AI tool, like Copilot. Try to deploy a tiny project. Just once. That's all. Small, simple steps create huge momentum over time.
You know, that fear of new tools? It often comes from the same place as our 4th mistake, which I think is a real silent career killer. It's that feeling of waiting for perfect. It's that little voice in your head that's always saying, I'm not quite ready, or I just need to watch one more video. It's a total trap, and it stops you from ever actually doing anything.
And here's the absolute truth, okay? An imperfect project you actually finished is infinitely better than a perfect project that's still just an idea in your head. Getting your hands dirty and taking action is the best teacher you will ever have, period.
And that's exactly why you need to take action. There's this saying, what gets seen gets to grow. Think about it. When you push your code to GitHub or you put a project on a portfolio, people see it. You might get feedback, someone might ask a question, you could even get a job offer. Your skills can't grow if your work is just sitting hidden on your computer.
And hey, putting your work out there? It's also the perfect cure for our fifth and final mistake, learning in isolation. This whole idea of the lone genius programmer hacking away in a dark room, it's a total myth. Seriously, trying to figure everything out by yourself is the absolute slowest way to get anywhere.
Think about it. When you're all alone, those little questions you have can turn into massive walls you can't get over. Your motivation takes a nosedive because you have no one to celebrate the small wins with or complain about the tough bugs. You just lose perspective. And what does it all lead to? You guessed it, way slower progress.
So please, start thinking of community as a superpower. It's a learning accelerator. Hopping on a forum or a Discord server to ask a question isn't a distraction from your work. It is the work. It's one of the best ways to find new solutions, get unstuck faster, and just keep your motivation high.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, let's just take a step back and look at the big picture. It is so easy to feel like you're in a mad dash, trying to learn everything all at once. But becoming a great developer, really, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a long-term game.
So how can you know if you're actually on the right track? Well, ask yourself these three things. Are you trying to learn a little bit every single day? Are you looking at your mistakes and not running away from them? And the most important one, are you consistently building stuff? If the answer is yes, then you're doing great. You're already winning.
So I'll leave you with this question. Out of all the things we talked about, which one hit closest to home for you? Be honest with yourself, because just spotting it, just acknowledging it, that's the first, most powerful step you can take to really speed up your journey. Thanks for hanging out with me today.